Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to give you a little bit more skinny on this before you get started. It says to dry your chicken wings. So just because you dry them, then when you get ready to dip them in there, you might want to run that paper towel across them again because they'll pick up some more moisture. And what'll happen is if you don't, then you'll wind up getting more like breading. And that's one thing you got to be real careful of. You only want to dust it. You don't want to get it too thick, because if you do, then you're going to have a fairly bad taste in your mouth. And, well, it's going to taste like glue. Yeah. So you want to be real careful with that. And you just want that, like I said, you just want that light dusting. And that's it. Okay, boys and girls. We're going to make us some buffalo wings today. Recipe is taken from this here book right here. They're called reduced fat chicken or buffalo wings, mainly because the wings, when they're cooking, are going to be sitting on this rack here rather than sitting in cooking in their own fat. So the fat will be dropping out. And one of the neat little tricks that you get from that little book right there is to use baking powder after you dry the wings off completely, so that it will help to make the wings crisper when we cook them. We're going to cook them first for a little bit until they just tan up out here on the grill, open on that rack, excuse me, and then when they get tanned, then we're going to put them in the broiler. And I'm going to use that little tripod there for that has a little clamp, like right here. It goes up like that, and I'm going to put the phone in there. I got it with a little kit from Amazon that has different lenses in it, and that was to hold the telescopic lens. And these are all the ingredients that we're going to need. Of course, those are the baking powder and the salt is going to be for mixing up to dust the wings with. And there's crystal. We got that at Publix. Can't find it just about any place else. And a little molasses there to add some sweetener. And our measuring stuff. And, of course, the guidebook. And paper towels. And, of course, the wings. The aluminum foil we're going to use to line the bottom of the pan down there, so the cleanup will be real spiffy and neat and easy. The paper bag here is going to be to put the baking powder and salt mixture in to toss the wings with, to coat them real good. And of course we're going to be cutting the wing tips off of each one and also separating the call it the drumstick. I know they call it something else out in the world out there. And sort of like at the elbow. So we need something to cut them on. And of course, there's our butter. We're going to be adding a little bit of butter in there with the hot sauce to give it a buttery flavor. And then to temper the hot sauce, that's what the molasses will do. All right, so let's get on with this then. What do you say? Okay, boys and girls. Here's what we got to do to get started. We got to dry all of these wings off. They have to be real dry, because if you don't get them dry, then it'll sort of work on the cooking, and anything that's wet cooks a lot slower. So we've got to take these wings and dry them up real good, and then right after we get that done, then we're going to be cutting them at the joints. So tell you what, you work on that, and then I'll be right back. Woo, doggies, boys and girls. It takes a lot of paper towels to dry them things up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this piece off right here, because in the book, see, it says that there's no discernible meat on there. So we just whack that little bugger off right there. And they also can't get the skin off. So this elbow right here, we're going to cut right through that. Easy way is to bend it over and break it like that, and then cut the tendon or whatever it is that's in between it. Well, yeah, I'm having a hard time. There it is. And then, and in the book, what they say is that they tried taking the skin off, but you just can't get the skin off. And the skin is the best tasting part of any wings, whether they buffalo wings or just plain old fried up wings that you get down at Maryland Fried Chicken or something. So, yeah, we got all these to do, and then what I did was that tray that they came in, I went and rinsed it out and got the pad that they use to soak up the all the water and everything from the wings. And after taking it out, then I dried it out, because I already dried these off. I don't want to put them in a wet pan now, do I? Nor do you. So we got a lot of wings right here that we gotta, let's see, we cut a little bit of that skin right there, and then we're gonna bend it over and break that joint, and then we can get in there and cut it a bit easier. All right, so you guys get on with that, and I'll get on with mine, and then we'll get to mixing up our baking powder and such, and then tossing it in the bag. And I'll give you, and at the beginning of this, the written notes and everything that you see displayed and everything will have all the ingredients there. And as we go through it, then I'll also be speaking to that. Alrighty, so when I come back, and before that, let's give credit due where it's due. And the person that did all of this stuff, that came across this baking powder that makes the skin nice and crispy, as well as the meat cooked and such like that, is Christy Morrison. So we want to give a big shout out to her at America's Test Kitchen. And maybe if she was here, she could cut all these wings up. Either that, or you get somebody else to do it, but you got to watch out. All right, so you get that done, and I'll be right back. Okay, boys and girls, while we got them wings are cooking out there, what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and mix up our hot sauce. So it's 1 tablespoon of butter, 2/3 of a cup of Crystal, and 1 tablespoon of molasses. So since we're making a double batch, then what we're going to do is we're going to double that. 2 tablespoons of molasses, 1 1/3 cup of Crystal, our hot sauce, Louisiana hot sauce, by the way, and then it's going to be 2 tablespoons of butter. So we get this hot sauce in here, and we take that little squeeze top off the top that meters it, so we can get it in there quicker. So this is a 1/3 measuring cup here. So there's 1, and we're going to put 4 of these in here now. There's 2, and a 2, and then here's 3, and then here's the 4th one. Whew. I'm gonna have to go get me some more Crystal, because this stuff is good. You can put it on anything that you want. It's not like it's Tabasco or anything. Tabasco has a bite. This just has a smooth charbroil, if you will. Man, this is pure molasses here. I think it's from New Hampshire. And or it's from somewhere up in the Northeast, and it's real. So it's all natural, straight from the tree. So we want 2 tablespoons of this. Now, any good person with a bit of experience in the kitchen or out on the patio table, measure up to 2 tablespoons just by watching it flow. And then we're going to stir this up. Of course, that molasses is going to be right there on the bottom because it's heaviest. And now the butter, I just stuck that in the nuker and melted it. So we get this. Can you see how it's got just a little bit of a brown color into it instead of that dark red? That's the molasses. That's going to add our sweetness to it. Yes, sirree. So let's get that stirred up. And then when you folks get that stirred up, then we'll go over here and we'll check on the wings and see how they're coming.